I'd like to call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick?
Here.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Here.
Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Hauser?
Here.
And Mrs. Seguin.
Here.
Everybody please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You okay?
Okay, welcome to the February 28th, 2023 Elyria Board of Education meeting. I'd like to introduce our group up here. To my right is Board Member and Vice President Mike Gebhardt. To his right is Board Member Elaine Sequin. I am Greg Elick. I think we all know everybody, but we go through this every time. So to my left is Board Member Annie Karstafen, then Len Hauser, Ann Slosh, and the last time for the award-winning treasurer, Joy Clickinger. Okay. We purposely slid this meeting in a day early so we could see you one more time.
I wondered.
So, I don't believe, do we have any visitors or presentations or
No.
anything today? No? Okay. Moving along, the minutes for the February 15th, 2023 meeting have been posted. Hopefully everyone's had a time to look those over. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Board Member Karstafen, a second by Gebhardt. Any comments or questions? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Hauser?
Aye.
Mrs. Seguin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Madam Treasurer, you have action items for us this evening?
Just one, and it is the donations, one from Point of Grace Ministries and one from James C. Lewis on behalf of the Nelson family.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the donations?
So moved.
I have a motion by Board Member Sequin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Hauser. Any comments or questions? Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Seguin?
Aye.
Mr. Hauser?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick?
Aye, motion carries. Okay, Madam Superintendent, you have action items for us this evening?
I do. Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, to approve the Pioneer Connections Program Chance Light contract for the 23-24 school year. That's the middle school program. Also to approve the amendment to the agreement with AVG as detailed in enclosure K2. To approve the payment for professional development for the training for Nuts and Bolts Never Boring Conference with Jack Berkmeyer. To approve the overnight field trip for the Elyria High School Drama Club to Ohio State. To approve the out-of-state overnight field trip for the Elyria High School robotics students to Vex Worlds and Middle School and High School Championship in Dallas. To approve the out-of-state field trip for the Eastern Heights Middle School 7th grade students to Michigan. To also approve the same trip for Northwood Middle School. And also for Westwood Middle School. To approve this out-of-state overnight field trip for Eastern Heights Middle School 8th grade students to Washington, D.C. The same field trip for Westwood. And that concludes my action items.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent action
I'll
items?
make the motion.
A motion by Board Member Gebhardt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Karstafen. Comments or questions? Madam Superintendent, I do apologize. I did not click on the AVG. I missed that one. So could you just let me know, what exactly is that for?
Let me get back to it here, I'm sorry. That is, correct me if I'm wrong, for the parking lot? Yeah, the parking lot here.
The parking lot
Yeah,
here?
we added that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
We've done a couple, so I had to look at Brian and,
I've seen a lot of those come through, but
Yeah.
I just missed that one. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
It's good, though, to get that asphalt work done. That's
it is, they're
super
going to do
important.
all of this everywhere, and all the way out to Griswold, where you dodge the holes all the way out.
That's fantastic.
So,
We need it.
yeah.
We need
Okay.
it. Tell me,
Great.
just, I'm curious, the professional development, June 12th through the 14th, what's kind of Jack's focus, the nuts and bolts? What do we do?
So last year, he did it for us. We had about 250 of our staff that got to come. He does it all over the country, actually world, And we, through our grant funding, were able to bring the team here. So it's a little bit of everything, anywhere from pedagogy to classroom management to restorative practices to putting the fun back in teaching. I mean, the thing that I love the best about it, and I had a lot of fun watching Mel Rainey last year dancing on the picnic tabletops. Everyone gets up and gets excited about their job again. And more than anything, what I heard back from the teachers is they remembered why they went into teaching in the first place. And he works with the district, as does Kim Campbell. She did our keynote this past August, and there's about 13 different keynotes that come, and we're very fortunate through our school quality money in Title I to be able to afford it and let every single employee go if they want.
It's a blessing to be in person, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it
a-
really is,
it's a
and,
big thing.
and he loves it here, so.
Yeah. Well, and then, I'm just getting up to speed, learning about everything. The Chance Light, that's for the middle school, that's for kids that have, help me, what, yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
remember, I brought, I think I sent it in an update and maybe talked about it a couple meetings ago. We are looking at doing a program for middle schoolers in lieu of suspension and expulsion in partnership with the college next year, out at the college. And this is the group that does the programming. And there's a large mental health portion to it. There's working with parents. And what we want is to help our youngsters learn strategies to be able to be back in the regular setting and, get some great ideas to cope. We've all been through a lot the last few years, and I think it's a great program. We've worked with them before. They're a great company, and we think through grant funding and partnering with other districts that it'll be pretty cost neutral.
Other questions or comments? Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Hauser?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick.
Aye, motion carries. Madam Superintendent, you have personnel action items this evening?
I do. The first one is sad, but I completely understand. Jess Barwat's a principal that's been here quite some time, is going to be a mom for a while. She has almost middle schoolers, and just finding it difficult to do both. But she has agreed to be a substitute administrator, which will be wonderful. Also, to approve the appointment of the following certified staff as detailed below. Another sub and a preschool intervention specialist. To approve the payment of $31.87 an hour for after-school tutoring as listed below. To approve the following athletic supplemental contracts for district certified staff and non-district coaches as listed below. To approve the appointment of the following classified staff as listed below. And that's it. Those are my personnel action items.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's personnel action items?
So moved.
Motion by Board
Second.
Member Gebhardt and a second by Board Member Sequin. Any questions or comments? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Hauser?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, Madam Superintendent, do you have a superintendent report for us?
Yeah,
this
just
evening?
real quick, I do want to extend a big thank you to Denise Blatt and Amy, Bodnar for working on that Chance Light program. They did a lot of work, and I think it's going to be great. Excuse me. Also, I would like to mention that this weekend, we have 17 of our 22 robotics teams that have qualified for state over in Akron. It's in Akron this year.
Akron and Marion.
And Marion, okay, they move it all around. And also, as we all know, it's why we're here tonight, basketball, it's against St. Ed's, and I'm feeling good, because it's public school week.
Oh, there you go.
That's good.
So, that is it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Okay, Board of Education. We do have one thing on the business-wise, and that is approve the first reading of the board policy detailed below, notification of meetings. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion,
moved.
go ahead, Amy.
I have a motion by Board Member Karstoffen. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Second by Board Member Hauser. Comments or questions? With none, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Hauser?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick.
Aye, motion carries. Board of Education, anything for the good of the cause, board members? Nope. Okay. With nothing else, I'd ask for a motion to request an executive session to consider matters required to be kept confidential by federal law or regulations or state statutes with possible action to follow? With
Greg?
possible,
Were we supposed to do the first reading of the board policy?
we just did.
Oh, we
Yeah,
just,
we
that was
did.
what we ayed?
Yeah.
Aye, aye.
Yeah. With possible action to follow, to discuss imminent litigation and/or the purpose of considering employment, appointment, or compensation of a public employee or official as authorized under Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
Mr. Hauser?
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin?
Aye.
And Mr. Elick.
Aye, motion carries. Into executive session.